Hi again, everyone. It's still June 2nd, I think Tuesday, 2020. And I was going through the discussion board introductions. Everyone's introducing each other to the class and to me. And one of the recurring themes that I think I witness is that there's some intimidation. People are worried about doing well in the course and don't know what to expect. And they're especially intimidated because this might be their first online class or because they've taken a break since the last time they've been in school, either from high school or some other college experience. Others seem to be, ready to jump right in, and they're in their latter years of their studies at the moment. But I just want to give a quick talk to those who feel some degree of intimidation, and I want to try to alleviate some of that and give you a sense that you should feel quite confident in doing well and hopefully getting some real benefit from the class. Just briefly, uh, I was a community college student. In fact, although I don't have my diplomas here, they're at the Mount, and I guess we're banned from there for a little while, so we can't go back on campus. But I graduated from Springfield Technical Community College a long time ago. But I just want to tell you a brief story about how I first started there. Um, um, I graduated high school at 17, not because I was bright or anything like that. It was just the weird way my birthday fell when my parents had enrolled me in school, I guess, at the very youngest cutoff age when I was a kid. And I wasn't going to go to college. I grew up in a blue collar family. My grandfather was a plumber. My father was a plumber. And I was going to be a plumber. I would turn my camera to the big poster of my advertisement of my grandfather's plumbing business I have framed. But I just moved into this house and it's really chaotic and it's very messy. So this is the only angle I can show you that looks reasonably sane. Um, but so I'm 17. I couldn't get into the plumbers union for the apprenticeship program because I was too young at the time. So my dad says, why don't you go down to the community college, sign up for some classes? Literally the Friday before classes started that Labor Day weekend. And so I went down and I met with an advisor and I had no idea what I was doing. Why is this for me? What's it going to do for me? And I saw no real connection. I was excited. It was something new. So I signed up for 5 classes, all on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was on campus from 8 to 4 p.m. On both of those days. And I had anthropology, psychology, sociology, English Comp 1, and algebra. And once classes started, I found myself exhausted after being on campus Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., classes back to back to back. I just didn't feel like I really belonged in college. I didn't think I was college material, and I didn't understand how those classes were going to benefit me as a plumber, other than maybe algebra a little bit. It was kind of like math when I was in high school, so that was okay. But as things went on, I felt very disconnected and disillusioned, and maybe not so smart. I didn't think I really belonged there. And I was doing okay in quizzes and tests, but I just didn't feel quite uh, like I was part of that college community. And then I can remember distinctly a class in anthropology where I took a quiz and I didn't do nearly as well as I thought because I studied very, very hard. And the professor at the end of class says, "Hey, I'm going to break a little early. Why don't you guys come on up if you have any questions about your quiz?" So I was very shy and introverted, but I decided to muster up the courage to go up and just ask. I got this whole series of questions wrong here, Professor. And I don't remember seeing anything like this on the test or the text or remember anything from the lectures. I didn't miss any classes yet at this point. And I always remember her saying, "Well, those came from the suggested readings that are in your syllabus." And I wasn't trying to be rude or confrontational. But I said, "Well, I thought those were suggested and they weren't really required." And I always remember her, and there's a line of students right behind me eager to talk about their tests too. And she says, "The next time a professor makes a suggestion to you, perhaps you should heed that." And she got some laughs from the other students, and I tried to politely laugh. And I just said, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I left, and I was humiliated. And I especially didn't feel like I belonged at the college at that point. Then the next class I go to, which wasn't bad, I don't know if it was sociology or what it was, but as the tail end of that class was ending, I'm exhausted. It's probably 3:45 at the end of the day. The professor says, "Hey, you guys got to start thinking about writing that research and writing project for the class, and otherwise you're going to get swamped at the end of the semester, and you're going to do poorly on it probably." And although I knew there was a writing requirement, I didn't know what was really expected. There was no like career, what we call a rubric, like what's expected of me. It had to be 5 pages, but I didn't pick a topic. I didn't know how to do research. I was very, very intimidated at this point when I left that day. And I got the flu that weekend. I remember getting very sick. I missed the entire next week, only the Tuesday and Thursday class because I was so sick. And that was before email, so I felt like I was really behind. I didn't have the courage to approach my professor saying I was concerned about missing basically a week of school. And I was really disillusioned with it. And I think sometimes students at the Mount and every other place feel disillusioned and disconnect. Why is this for me? And why does the school really care about how I do? And I can remember getting snail mail back then. We didn't have email or email accounts or anything like that. So I just got a letter from Springfield Technical Community College saying, hey, spring semester's just around the corner. Think about signing up for classes. The printouts of the spring offerings will be out. Start thinking about it, meet with your advisor. But also contained in that letter was the last day to withdraw from classes, which would be the following Monday. And without a grade, you get a withdraw a W on your transcript. And I thought that would be better than a poor grade. I kind of went into a panic mode over the weekend, and I dropped out. First semester of college, I went that Monday, and I felt so relieved. I felt fantastic that I got this burden off my back, a totally irrelevant experience. It wasn't going to help me at all. These professors were aloof, and they were from a different world, and they didn't know what I needed as just a regular guy trying to maybe make a better life for myself or advance a little bit before I went into the plumber union. And at first I felt great, but then it was Thanksgiving break, and my friends were home from college, and extended family, cousins, sons, uncles were coming over. They were all asking me how I'm doing in college. And, of course, I lied. So things go fine. I guess I answered in such a way to keep the conversation muted about college, so I was embarrassed. And then I started getting more and more upset about making that decision. And my father sensed it, and he pulled me aside after, I think it was Thanksgiving night, as a matter of fact. Hey, what's going on? So I dropped out. It wasn't for me. I want to get back into the plumbing thing. I'll do something else. I'll find some kind of job in the interim before that. And my father was very supportive, but deep down inside, I thought he could really see his disappointment, his concern for me for doing that. Let's just say I started hanging out with my friends. They were home for the Thanksgiving break, and they're all asking me how things are going. And I told them, hey, I dropped out. It's not for me. I'm not college material. I'm at a community college anyways, and what does it matter? And they all had kind things to say, but yet I could still feel an undercurrent of disillusionment with my decision. Like they were dissatisfied, and I quickly became upset myself. I didn't find a job immediately, and I kind of basically slept until noon every day for quite a long period of time, and just kind of fell into a deep funk. And it was until that spring semester came out that a new flyer came out for those mini semesters, kind of like a summer session almost. It was those 7.5 week or 8 week things at night at Stick. And I got the courage up and took one class, and I went back. And it was hard to go back. Every day I felt very stressed and filled with anxiety that I wasn't going to do well, and I wasn't college material. Like my friends were at universities and colleges that were 4-year institutions that had more prestigious names than a community college. At least I thought so. Well, I had a really good professor, and I got through that class, and I took a summer class, and I went back in the fall. And I stayed there for 3 years because I really fell in love with it over time. And I just want you guys that are thinking a little bit about, is this for me? What is it really going to mean for my life? Education is always going to be beneficial for you, even if it doesn't directly relate to the career or the goals you have in life. You'd be surprised how general education, any kind of topic, will help you be a more clear thinker, will help you be a better writer, and will give you better critical thinking moments in anything you do and apply. So I urge you to stick it out. I urge you not to be intimidated. And I also urge you to reach out to me if you are concerned, or you take a test and you do poorly on it. And say, geez, this actually happened one time in my class. Because number 4 wrong. I feel terrible because I thought I really understood that question, and I was very confident it was B. Jim, can you tell me why I got it wrong? I'll go in and I'll realize I put the wrong answer key for Blackboard, and the student actually had it right. But more importantly, there's others that will have it wrong, and they will have the question wrong. But you're here to learn the material. It's not about tests. Give me the call, shoot me the email, and say, I didn't understand why I got number 4 wrong. Then I can explain it to you, and guess what? Maybe through that process, you've learned the material. And that's part of the reason why I put in my syllabus that you get to drop your lowest grade from one of the quizzes. And I'm a liberal grader in the homework. The homework's there to design to get you to do better in the quizzes. So I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel you're in with equals, including me. We're all part of the same ship here, and we'll succeed together. So I want you to have a certain degree of confidence and faith that you can do it too. To this day, I've got the associate's degree from the community college. Even though I spent 3 years there, it wasn't because I was flunking classes, but I took a year of general studies, and then I focused on a specific degree path later. But I got a bachelor's degree, I got a master's degree, and I got a doctorate degree. And I'm not that smart. And I also may think, oh, yeah, you are. No, I'm not. Just a regular kid blue collar family, and I learned to overcome the fear and apprehension, and you can too. So that's sort of my welcome aboard. I should have done this right off the beginning of the semester, but when I was reading those posts, there's this undercurrent of geez, I hope I do well, and I hope this is for me. And even if you aren't going to be a business person, or you're not going to do a lot of contractual work as a profession, you will do contractual um, activities in your life. There's no question about it. And you'll learn to read better, you'll learn to write better, and you'll learn how to meet deadlines better. It will pay off. And I urge you to stick it out, and don't be afraid to reach out when stress or misunderstandings occur during the course of the semester. Take care, and see you again soon for Chapter 3.